Hey, what's going on everyone? My name is Sherwin, and in this video, we are gonna travel back in time to April 2021. Recently, Facebook memories reminded me of a trip we took 2 years ago, and it's to Zion National Park in Utah. This was not only the first road trip in our Model 3, but first road trip in an EV, in a Tesla. So I was a little nervous. I was still brand new to it. Range anxiety was at an all-time high. I have my family with me, and man, it would probably never end if we get stuck. But everything went fine. The video is a little rough. I wasn't planning on releasing this on YouTube. It was just for me to take notes and share on Facebook with friends. But I found some footage. I compiled it together, and I hope you enjoyed the video. During the video, I've owned the Model 3 long range for a little over a year. I'm still a noob, and you'll notice on some parts of the video where we display the battery state of charge, I have it on miles, because everybody knows if you have it on percentage, you are considered a professional EV owner, right? So you'll notice that it's still in miles. This was in April 2021. And I misused the terms level 2 and level 3 charging. I apologize for that, but now I know. So if you want to skip around, as usual, check the video description for the little chapter markers and timelines and all that. And at the end, we'll go over some data. I hope you enjoyed the video. So we're taking our first Tesla road trip, and we're here at Baker, the largest thermometer thing. And so this is the first stop we have for supercharging. This is a level 3 charger, so it's supposed to be 125 kilowatts, and right now it's pulling about 103 kilowatts. I'm about 50% state of charge, 162 miles. So battery degradation after about 17,000 miles is not too bad. About a year and a half car age. But yeah, so it says it's 40 minutes, but from my understanding, from 90% to 100% is the longest time, because they have to shift around the battery cells. So normally to get to 80% it's about 15-20 minutes, but I'm going all the way to 100%. So it's a little it takes a little bit longer, but yeah. So driven 128, almost 129 miles, hour and 42 minutes, 285 watts per mile, watt hour per mile. And so anything under 300 I consider pretty good. So, but yeah, so there's a couple of stalls here, a couple other Teslas here. There's like 3 Teslas here, all level 3 chargers. But yeah, charging it up. A bunch of stalls here actually. All level 3. Alright, so I think we're gonna be stopping at either State Line or North Las Vegas for the next charge, but we'll see. I'm not familiar with anything beyond State Line, so maybe we'll stop at State Line, just depending on how much I charge over here. Okay, so see you on the next stop. Alright, this is our second supercharging stop. We are, I think, North Las Vegas. This is the outlets, I think. So from Baker to North Las Vegas, we traveled 93.4 miles. We used 30 kilowatt hours, and then 320 watt hours per mile. So if you're gonna charge, you should charge at Baker, because right after that charger, it's a huge uphill. It's gonna be, I think when I took a peek, it was over 500 watt hours per mile. So it's a major uphill. So it's a good idea to charge over there at Baker. Alright, so we're at St. George, charger stop number 3. This is probably going to be our final one. St. George, Utah. So from North Las Vegas, we traveled 122.6 miles using 34 kilowatt hours, and it's 277 watt hour per mile. So not bad. Not much climbing and stuff, but that's okay. So we're at a supercharger. These are supposed to be 120 or 150 kilowatt, but we're only doing 66 because I think these are sharing with other Teslas. There's a Tesla on both sides, on my left and my right, so we're not getting the full speed. But we're gonna go eat here. There's a bunch of places. There's a Starbucks here, but behind us, or actually there's also like a barbecue place there, so we could check out. But I think I have it set to 100%. So I'm gonna try to really get the full 100% charge. It looks like it's gonna take 45 minutes because I don't know if there's any superchargers when we go start heading towards inside Zion. I think there's a couple of destination chargers in Springdale, but they're really slow, so it's pretty much as fast as what I have at the house, or I can do the other chargers from the other provider, and I think it's up to 35 kilowatts, so half of this, but we'll see. If I do a full 100%, it should give me over 300 miles. And I think Zion's about 70 miles from here, so we should be good. The only thing that's a concern is at nighttime, it's gonna be around 41 to 44 degrees Fahrenheit, and that's not good for the battery. Even if the car is off, it's not good for the battery. Not good as in it's gonna drain it slowly instead of not draining it at all or very little. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, so we made it to Zion National Park. This is where we'll be staying. And this is the driveway to our cabin, which is right there. Bam! Oh man! Got hooked up. Good looking out to Turliana family. Hooking it up. Alright. So there are no superchargers here, and LTE signal looks in and out, but this is our cabin. I think it's like 3 bedrooms or something, 2 bathroom, and we got a porch and stuff. And the good thing, I guess, is I can just charge overnight. These are regular 110 charger or plug right here. But I still have a lot of battery to go back to St. George. But this is just the standard house plug that I could just charge. I just want to keep it plugged in overnight because it gets pretty cold here. Around 41 to 45 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's the, you don't want to have the Tesla parked out on cold weathers like that because it'll eat the battery a little bit. So let's take a look at what we got. Oh man, what do we have? So from St. George, oh come on, swipe. It's not swiping. There you go. Since last charge, no, that's not it. Since last charge. So since last charge we drove, this is from St. George, 65.1 miles. Although about 2 miles of that is us driving around looking for the cabin. 21 kilowatt hours used, 319 watt hours per mile. So it's over 300, but that's understandable because we climbed up. And so this is where we're at. I don't know. What else? The last charge at St. George. How much was that? Charging. Here we go. $9.84 at St. George. I don't remember how much kilowatts
kilowatt hours it gave me. But I fully charged. The interesting thing is, at 100%, it looks like I'm at 294 miles. This is rated to be 325-ish. So did I already have battery degradation of about 8%-ish? About 8 to 10% battery degradation probably. So about a year and a half, and 8 to 10 sounds a bit high. I don't know. Maybe I'll double check with the Tesla service center. But I still have 203 miles. So if I traveled 65 miles uphill, going back down is 65 miles probably to St. George, and I'll probably use less watt hour per mile and less kilowatt hours because we're going downhill probably. But regardless, let's say it uses the same amount at 203 miles. Let's see, display, if we change it to energy, we have 69%. So we're gonna be here for a couple of days. It's gonna be parked outside. I don't think we have access to the garage. So I'll just leave it charged probably at night. It's probably 3 miles per hour, but I think as long as I sustain the battery capacity above 200 miles or 69, above 50%, we should be good. We'll be plenty. So there goes that range anxiety. I don't think there should be any issue, even in the middle of the national park. Now, the other thing too is 3G signal. So signal is in and out. When there is no signal for the car, you have to have your destination popped in, because if there's no signal, it doesn't know where to go. So you may have to fall back on your cell phone, but even then, cell phone service is also in and out. But in this particular cabin, this area, we're getting 3 bars of LTE, so on Verizon network. But that's it. I'll probably do a video on the actual cabin and our beautiful scenery. This is awesome. So we're here. Thank you. All right, good morning, everybody. We are here at Ponderosa in Zion National Park, and I found myself a wall outlet outside. This is just the standard wall outlet, and I don't need to charge, but I just like to keep the battery up and running. I was a bit concerned last night because it reached about 41 degrees, the battery, but I don't think it even took any battery usage last night, so I was pretty impressed. So right now the wall charger is about 4 miles an hour. So if you are gonna buy a Tesla, you should really invest in the wall charger installed in your house. We got one, so because it's a little quicker, or go to a supercharger if there's one available. But it does cost more money. If you go to the superchargers, they are quicker, but you know, for convenience, we have one at the house. But here it's just a traditional wall charger, 120 volt, 110 watt. But it's fluctuating 3 to 4 miles an hour. It's at 208 miles like it was last night when we got in, and it's still 208 miles, which is I think 71%. So very impressed that it didn't really lose a lot of charge, or any. It didn't seem like it lost any at 41 degrees parked outside. So I'm just gonna charge it to 80% like I always do, just in case we have to drive anywhere. And 80% should push me to, I don't know, like 250 miles, 260, I don't know. It's too early for me to do math. But anyway, so if you do head out here and you got an EV, just make sure wherever you're parked at, that they have an outlet, and be ready for this 3 to 4 mile an hour charge, unless there is a charger nearby. There is a charger in Springdale, which is I think the nearest town, but it's about 20 something miles and 40 minutes of driving. And so I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna go there. I'm already pretty high on the charge. But anyway, this is our cabin. It's pretty much an entire house. It has a garage, but I don't think we have access to.
because it's locked. But man, it's really awesome out here. Never been, and one of these days I'm gonna look up as to why they have like red mountains or red rocks here in Utah. So, but yeah, we got a balcony, and the balcony has like a scenic view. My goodness, I don't know. So, mostly everyone went to Bryce National Park, and the kids and I stayed because the kids have to go to school and I have to work. But this is another example of why telecommuting is really awesome. Hopefully we don't have to go back to work, but you know, I have responsibilities, and even though I'm out here, I gotta go to work. But this is my view while I'm at work. My goodness. So I'm not even complaining. Jeez, this beats not only being in the office, but being at home. Oh my goodness. See, I got my laptop propped up. I'm ready to go. See, I'm just hanging out here. Man, it's pretty chilly if you're in the shade, but if you're out in the sun, man. Everyone went to Bryce to hike, while the boys and I stayed behind. My father-in-law stayed with us as well. He's our cook for this trip. Their school had remote classes during this time, and I had to work remote. The days I drove, I took them as vacation days, but while in the cabin, I still had to work. Telecommuting is great. I wish many companies still offered it. We headed down to town so we can ride the Zion Canyon Shuttle. There is a tunnel we have to go through that's only one lane, so there's some traffic as each side takes turns. The shuttle ride is like the one at Universal Studios. I believe there are 9 stops. You can get off at any of them if they're open and wait for another shuttle to continue. While we were there, I believe there was 4 stops that were closed. But you can get off at all the other stops. It's really cool.
St. George. We just left Zion and we are at the St. George supercharger, and it's downhill, mostly downhill stuff. So 62.9 miles, spent 15 kilowatt hours, 240 watt hour per mile. Now on the way down I had most of the most of the heated seats on except mine. It's really hot. I'm not a hot kind of guy. I like the cold weather, but so that took some energy as well. But that's the stats. We're at supercharging. What does it look like? Charging. So at this supercharger currently we're at 136 kilowatt hours. And so if we're charging up to 80%, it's 20 minutes, but if I slide it over to 100%, it's at 45. So as you can see, it doubles the time, because again it slows it down towards the end when it's all getting filled up. But I want to charge up to 100% because we're going to be driving to Las Vegas, which is about 120 miles away, and we're going to have some breakfast. So that's it. Okay. All right, so we just arrived in Las Vegas. We're back at Aria. From St. George supercharger, it was 127.2 miles, 36 kilowatt hours used in the battery, 281 watt hours per mile. So I'm left with 134 miles, which is probably right around 40%, maybe between 30 to 40% state of charge. And that's it. We're back in Vegas. We're gonna just hang out here for a night. Finally made it home. And let's see. The final stats, well, actually 129.4 miles from Baker supercharger. And then 33 kilowatt hours of energy used, 252 watt hours per mile. The Baker supercharger cost $13.12. I used up 49% of the battery. So that's what it is. 49% is equal to 129.4 miles, I guess. I don't know. I'm tired. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. It's not half. I don't know. Maybe I didn't charge all the way. But yeah, so the full from Zion, full stats, I guess, is 411.9 miles, 107 kilowatt hours of battery, 260 watt hour per mile. So again, anything below 300, I consider it good, but the lower that number is, the better. But yeah, I'm left with 51% of charge. Just got home and I'm gonna go and rest. Thank you to all our friends that we joined on this trip. It was fun, and hope we can do it again. And hopefully we'll be in a caravan of Teslas. Okay, I'm gonna go. I'm tired. All right, so you may or may not notice that this video is on 1080p and not 4K, because again, I recorded this 2 years ago. Unlike the more recent
trip videos where I have a lot of details and Excel spreadsheets and everything. I don't have it for this trip, unfortunately. I didn't know what format I was supposed to record this data, because again, I didn't have YouTube in mind. I already had the channel since 2008, but at that time I just didn't feel like putting things up on YouTube. But I still recorded as much info as possible. So I'm gonna do my best to try to share some data. Pretty much the data I've collected, I just multiplied by 2 because I have the data from Zion back to going back home. So I figured, okay, well, that's one way, multiply by 2, it's round trip. So if we were to go in that path, we are looking at 823.8 miles total driven, 214 kilowatt hours of energy spent, and I would probably guesstimate 280 to maybe low 300s watt hour per mile probably. Keep in mind, going up there, it's like mostly uphill, and then coming back down is downhill. So I don't know. And then let's just take for an example 47 cents per kilowatt hour when charging. So if we multiply 47 cents with 214 kilowatt hours that we spent driving to and from Zion, that would give us $100.58. Now, if we say it's 59 cents per kilowatt hour, then this trip would have cost $126.26. So this is traveling over 800 miles. I'm gonna put up the San Francisco data sheet because we traveled a little over 1,000 miles, and I think we spent roughly $140 round trip on that. But that's with the Model X, and this one is with the Model 3. So lighter car, smaller car, give or take. The costs seem to be pretty similar, even with 2 years have passed. But it is 2 different routes, 2 different distances, 2 different cars. But yeah, I wish I would have taken more data, but I'm just going over estimates and sharing with you. If you've taken that trip to Zion, please let me know what kind of data you came up with. I know the charging cost does fluctuate, it goes up and down. But yeah, and looking over this video, man, it made me miss my Model 3. I mean, I miss my Model 3 ever since trading it in for the Model Y Performance, but I miss it even more. So I wish I could keep it, but it's just not practical. Maybe if I had, you know, money lying around, I'll buy it again. I don't know, but I'll need a bigger garage. I only have a 2-car garage, and I don't want to let that thing sit outside. So yeah, it kind of brought back memories of the car. I miss it, but I'm very happy with my Model Y. That's it for this video. If you get a chance to go to Zion, take it. My goodness, that place is so beautiful. If you can go to any national park, and I'm gonna try to do a better job at finding some time bringing the family to other national parks, I'm gonna do so. A friend of mine recently went to where is it, Yosemite, I think a few months ago, like late last year, with his Model 3 long range. He had no issues going to Yosemite. He did say that there was a Rivian Adventure like charging stations at the entrance of one of the Yosemite entrances. So that would be interesting. That's gonna be on my list. Hopefully we could find some time. But man, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you liked the footage that I took. Even if this data didn't help, I hope it helped capture just how beautiful Zion is. We're gonna try to head back there, and again, shout out to the Trails family. for pretty much taking us on that trip. And you may see them in the future because they have a Model Y, and we plan to do a EV confessions video. So look out for that. A bunch of other things. Thank you for watching, and if you liked the video, please like. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.